we could start.
Can you see Rama who's joined, or
I'm waiting to check on the
is it just the host that gets to see that?
Yeah, because
no, we will not start until it appears. That's it.
Because it appeared the streaming started.
Mm-hmm.
No, it will not start.
Yeah, it says that on the left.
On the left side.
What happened? Something wrong?
It says
Yeah, we had
started. Mm-hmm.
Nothing happened.
For you, nothing?
Yes.
We're just by ourselves.
Well,
I can send you how you are looking. Nothing happened. You are the same. Everything's the same. Something changed in your point of view?
Yes, on my screen. Mm-hmm.
What?
On my screen, it says streaming started.
That's good. Okay.
Yeah. So we are on, I guess.
No, not yet. Okay, but I think it's recorded and it will be appeared a little bit few minutes later. Okay.
Okay.
But until now I couldn't see. Just let's wait one more minute. It's taking its time because I need to let people in. They're waiting.
Because you can let people in, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Is it just you, Rama? Just the host gets to do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you keep coming in, Rahma?
I didn't send the link yet. We have to be live first.
Okay.
Yeah, we started, but it didn't show yet. Once it appears on the pages, I can share it. That's it.
Okay.
Let me check.
Now
you are in the live session.
Yeah, you are in a live session.
Everyone can see and hear us.
Yes. Hello, everyone. For those who could see us, we are here.
Rama is muted.
I think we are the only ones, and I think it's recorded. It's live with us, but it's recorded, and maybe she could send the link recorded.
Okay.
Rahma.
That's what I do.
Yeah, Rahma.
It's a bit complicated. No, it's not. It's recording on the YouTube and everything. I can't share my screen for you to see, but if you go to the Facebook page, you will not see the video yet. You can open Facebook, our Facebook, IMA Facebook. Wait.
I think, Rahma, it's recorded, and then it would be added on Facebook.
1 minute. I got it. I got it now. 1 minute. Yes. We are now on Facebook. Okay. Let us and hello. Okay.
Hi.
Hi.
Take the link. 1 minute.
Well, you are experiencing with us on live how to start.
Yeah, but now we are on the Facebook now. I have to check the YouTube. That's it. Thank you. Okay. We still have to wait until people start to join our live.
Okay.
That's good. Hello, everybody. First episode. I'm a.
See, I could see it.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, we are on live, Rama.
Yes.
No, so we could start.
Can't get in.
Rahma, we are on live. I can see
Yes,
on
I know,
Facebook.
I know. I just giving time for people to join because we have just shared the link. Give them just a few minutes to join us. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
So,
That's it. Welcome
so
all,
dear
ladies.
people,
So
we
happy
are
to have
all
you
here.
today.
Join us, please.
Yes, you are waiting for people.
Feel free to click the button and to join. We will be glad to
Yeah,
share with
just
you.
click the link. Yes.
Ah,
I think we could start it. How are you, ladies? We can chit chat until they come.
oh yes, we can see all
Yeah,
of us
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Yes. Well, I'm excited. My first time on stream and broadcast with you, actually, with the association in itself. I did before, but it was for personal account. So I'm happy to be with you and glad to share with you. And I'll be glad to see more people participating. So hope they will be
Yeah,
joining
we
us.
have here. We have Sana, we have Khulud, we have Widat, Asma. How are you, everybody? Until members start to join and audiences
Okay.
from everywhere. Welcome, everybody. Okay, let's do it. And we'll give you time also for people until they join us. Okay? Okay. First of all, I want to say I'm so excited having all of you, such pioneers of Montessori worldwide, with me today. Our first episode in IMA Voices has been launched and we start the journey. Okay, welcome for all of you. And I'd love to hear a brief presentation from every one of you about yourself and how you get into Montessori education. How was your start with the Montessori? Please start, Salma.
Oh, well, basically, I have a master degree in English for communication. And during my university studies, I was working and studying at the same time. So I worked as an ESL teacher in international schools as part time. And I was carrying on my master degree at that time to finish my study the last year. I got graduated. Then I got a job to work abroad for the first time in Turkey. So I traveled to Turkey and I started my journey as an ESL teacher into primary school to teach English. But I was exposed at that time with a digital, let's say, world. So we were using the smart board. We were using many technical tools at that time, and we were using many interesting, of course, audio visual books. So it was quite different from the Montessori work. It was fascinating for the kids. It was lovely, but still, it's not stimulating for all the kids because I did have some kids who had learning difficulties, and it was very hard with them to really connect. So I kept on really working as an ESL, but I was really trying to explore more, and I'm really fascinated by the pedagogical development of the child and interested to dig more and to understand how the brain functions. So I made a research on the net and I was trying to explore the different methods of learning, behaviorism, communication methods, and I came up with Montessori. And at that time, I was like, Montessori? It's something I've never heard about. I mean, we had really elaborated on during my studies, but it was not in depth. So the word really popped in, and I was like, okay, look. Montessori. And I started really looking for Montessori education, exploring some books, and I came up with the Absorbent Mind. And I was like reading some pages, and I'm like, oh, this is something. This tells me many things I was not aware about, and I need really to review my way of teaching. And so from there, I really tried to look if there is any training about Montessori. And I found out a training, and it was in India. Why
Wow.
in India at that time? Because honestly, I'm from Northern Africa, so I'm from Tunisia, and it was really hard to find an affordable training. So I find the one in India affordable for me. Plus,
Since when all this happened? How long now you have been in your Montessori journey?
now overall, I could say over 7 years.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's quite not very
Yes,
well.
yeah, but still, the more you learn, the more you get to really understand better. And every time you are in the class with the kids, every time you reinforce these theoretical points you had in your training, and you try to develop more on that. And every time, yes, you are using the material, you are practicing, but you will go back to consolidate with the theory and to say, like, yes, the material and the theory, they do match together. And it's
That's
really
great, Salma.
interesting.
And you loved the age 6 years old to 12 years old. Yeah, the
Yeah,
elementary age.
yeah, that's another question, because most of the time I had kids aged from 5 to 12 years old. So I find myself comfortable with this age group.
Very well.
So I said, yeah, let's do that. Really. And I like these kids. I mean, they keep on asking you questions and a lot of things. And sometimes I could not find out the answer. And in Montessori, it's good to say, well, I don't know. Let's figure out together. And this was really something. So
That's
I
something I love
didn't,
about Montessori.
yeah,
Yeah, you can always say, I don't know. Yeah,
yeah. So I
that's
don't
great.
need really to come up with thousands of resources and everything. So I just need to guide them to find these thousands of resources together. And that was the click that changed my perspective about teaching.
Exactly. That's interesting. We will go through more details, but let us hear also from Sean and Mala.
Yeah.
Okay, come on, Sean. Let's hear.
Oh, so hello, everybody. I'm Sean Edwards. I've actually been in Montessori for about 35 years. I started as an assistant teacher after graduating from college with a degree in psychology and human services. And I was waiting tables and bartending and wanting to do something more meaningful. Actually enrolled in a graduate program at the University of Houston for developmental psychology and had job applications out. And I was invited to interview for an assistant teaching position at the Post Oak Montessori School in Houston. And the first time I saw that elementary classroom, I fell completely and madly in love, and I knew what I was going to do for the rest of my life. That was it. So I discontinued my journey at the University of Houston in the developmental psychology master's program. And I moved to Washington, D.C. that summer, and I got my Montessori training. And I was happy to have that Montessori training before I met my husband and before I had children, because now I was a Montessori teacher, and that really supported me as a parent.
Actually,
And
that's a gift. That's a gift to know about Montessori,
yes.
learn about it before you have your own kids.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very, 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 very big gift
Yeah.
that you had the chance to apply this with your own kids.
And
Yeah.
I had all these wonderful people helping me raise my children at the school, because my children went to the school where I started teaching. So I taught for about 15 years, and then I moved into administration, and I was a head of school for 18 years. In between that time, I became a positive discipline trainer. And then as I started working with adults, I realized I needed more tools. So I went back and received a master's degree in transformational leadership and coaching. And now I provide coaching and consulting to schools and educators and parents, which I love doing after spending 35 years with these three disciplines that have a lot of synergy. And I, like Salma, recognize I just can't even imagine. I can't imagine being in a school classroom because I also am trained for ages 6 to 12. I can't even imagine being in a school classroom where I have all 7-year-olds and they're all learning the same thing at the same time. Because I've never really experienced that. My educational experience has been in Montessori, and people hear about my work and they're like, "Oh, that sounds really hard." But I think it would probably be much harder to be teaching 20 children at the same age level one concept and expecting them to all understand it, right? Because a third of them are bored, a third of them are totally lost. They have no idea what you're talking about. A third of them are being served. And what a better way to teach them in small groups. And the most common thing between us is not our age, it's our interests and our ability levels and what we like to do, our passions. And Montessori really embraces that. As an advocacy for the child. So yeah, I have 3 children and 2 grandbabies now that all went through Montessori. So it's kind of been a way of life for me.
Okay, that's great, and that's quite long journey, Sean, and it really doesn't appear totally. Nobody will even guess you have been 35 years working in any field of organization. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. How about you, Mala? Let's do it.
Okay, I'm Mala. I'm from Malaysia. Actually, my journey with Montessori started after I had kids because I was always working in the corporate, and I had to quit my job, and we was based in Jakarta, Indonesia. And they started the Montessori program, and I was thinking, I quit my job when I want to go back. Nobody is going to take me in the corporate world. Why not I? At the time, my children were very young, 2, 5, and 7. So I said, let's go and do this to help my kids as well. So I started my journey in Jakarta, 1993, and I did my diploma there. And then I had to go back to Malaysia, transferred back. And so my half teaching practice was in Indonesia and Malaysia. Then we were moved again to Thailand, and that's where my training journey started. I started to work for Modern Montessori International, and I was a trainer there. Then I also did special needs program from London. And then in 2011, I moved to Malaysia. That's where I started my own business. And I also did my master's. I'm a very late bloomer. I started my master's at the age of 53, Montessori of forever learning.
It's never late to learn.
Never too late. And when Montessori actually came to my rescue when my children, actually my son was dyslexic and my daughter was special needs when they were young. So but none of my children went to Montessori school because they were not assessed to, because at that time there was not many Montessori schools in Malaysia too. So the 2011, when my daughter developed schizophrenia, a condition of a mental health issues, that's where the effect and the impact of Montessori really helped me. And I did research to find out Montessori also worked in psychiatry, how everything that I learned came into place. And for what my daughter is for the last 15 years is I contribute my time is because of Montessori. It helped us a lot. The structure, being positive all the time. And when Montessori talks of imagination, fantasy, when a person is having schizophrenia, you really understand the impact. Yeah. And it was a very tough journey. I mean, single-handedly doing it was not easy, but the Montessori too, really being positive, moving forward, using the pain for a cause. And I started teacher training courses for people in Malaysia who were just like many years in preschool, not having a qualification. So they come to us and I certify them, give them courses, and we do consultation. So that's my journey in Montessori.
And it was a
Nice.
challenge, such a challenging journey. Okay, ladies.
But
Okay,
the journey did not end yet. We are still
yes,
on.
Still going.
Yeah, and we're still
And
on the journey.
Yeah, it's a long way. And
long
Now
way.
know
think
that Mala has a great legacy. Now her grandchildren are going to a Montessori school.
yes, finally my grandchildren are going to Montessori school. What a blessing. And in
Yes.
France.
Yes. So let's start by one of the quotes for Maria Montessori that she mentioned in it. Children acquire knowledge through experience in the environment. Our title today is How the Prepared Environment Impacts the Psychological Development of the Child in Montessori Education. So, according to this, and according to our quotes from Maria Montessori, children acquire knowledge through experience in the environment. How this sounds to each of you, and what's the first thing came to your mind when you hear such a quote?
For me, the first thing that comes to my mind is my child.
Okay.
I don't know if you are moms also, or among us, we do have moms, but you try to buy many things for your kids, like special toys and special things, and really you equip the room nicely, you prepare it nicely, but he leaves everything and he gets to the kitchen and he takes all the saucepans, the frying pans, the whisk, you see, and he starts playing with only that. This is because he is really asking for something much more than what you are giving. They know they are born to self-construct, we say in Montessori, and all children are born to self-construct. And what is really interesting in Montessori is that once you believe in this child conviction that he is able to self-construct, you will be able to supply his needs and you will be able to help him fulfill his potential. Because after all, you are not preparing in advance courses or materials in advance. You are just following your child's progress according to the different signals that he displays or he shows. And this is really interesting in the preparation of the environment. Sometimes also we can see, like, you enter a class, a Montessori environment, it's well designed, lovely, beautiful. It's like a portrait or like a painting, but the kids are not really working in the environment. They are not really effectively working in it. So there is something missing in it. And sometimes you enter an environment which is not fully complete, but the kids are really engaged. And here, throughout my humble experience, I have come really to observe the kids. And I could say a simple advice: if you are preparing an environment, don't start putting everything at once. Just follow your child, follow the kids you have, and gradually you will really elaborate on the environment, because the environment once set, it's not the end. You will be modifying it according to their needs. It's meant to be modified according to the kids' needs. So that's why we say kids learn through experience of the environment. So this is really resonating to me in a way. When you are a guide and you prepare the environment, start step by step. And don't be overwhelmed really with a lot of the material, with all the Montessori materials we have in the 6 to 12. I think Sean agrees with me. We do have a lot of presentations in 6 to 12. Don't be really overwhelmed. Just start step by step and build on. This way it will help you really work on the environment, modify it, beautifying it, and fulfilling your child's needs.
That's great. That's great, Salma. Okay, and about this quote also, Sean, what can you say when we say children acquire knowledge through experience in the environment? What's the first thing came to your mind?
So the educational environment is one of the teaching tools, right? So not only for the child's academic progress, but to learn important life skills: self-management, self-regulation, responsibility, how to choose their work, how to be responsible for choosing work that's appropriate for their age level. So it's important, you have your adult and your child and your environment. Those are the cornerstones of Montessori.
Okay.
And if the environment is not prepared sufficiently, then you're not giving the child the optimal opportunity to grow socially and emotionally, in terms of self-management and emotional intelligence, but also academically. And I think about, if you think about, like, my teaching was elementary, ages 6 to 12, but if you think about toddlers, for example, and how they're in that unconscious realm of existence,
Mm-hmm.
and they're in environments predominantly, if they're not in Montessori, where they're not allowed to really things are out of their reach, or they're being told no because they might break something or get hurt. Because that's what they do. They just wander around and they explore, and they're not following an adult's guidance or rules. They're just being in the world until they become conscious learners. So if you think about the meticulous way in which a Montessori toddler environment is designed so that children can actually come in and do that exploration, everything's at their level. They can touch things, they can work with things. And so you don't have adults saying, no, don't touch, or come over here, or redirecting them. They're learning to self-manage, to self-regulate, and they are receiving this message that the world is abundant. It's not scarce. This world is an abundant, joyful place to explore. And it starts there. Yeah. And carries on with the environments being prepared in conjunction and in coordination with the psychological characteristics of the children of those particular planes of development. So that I think is really important. And then also at our age level for 6 to 12, Salma and I, you don't feel the urge and the need to bring in a lot of other things. Whatever you learn in your training in the base Montessori curriculum, the full set of Montessori curriculum materials is enough. You just have to use it right and, seduce the children into using it and working with it. You don't need to bring in superfluous things.
Yeah.
So those are my thoughts.
I can see that both of you have taken it from the point of view of 6 to 12. So I'm interested, really, and curious to know what Mala will say if we are taking it from the point of view of 0 years old until 6 years old, actually the primary stage in Montessori.
I do agree that the 6 to 12, there's lots of materials to work with. While 0 to 6 is also a very crucial point where order, structure, self-discipline, self-esteem develops during this space of time, and psychologically, emotionally, and self-regulating their emotions are all dealt with during this time. Because in my experience with my own daughter, like in our traditional schools, where they don't have the patience when the child is walking here, walking there, or they're not able to hold even a pencil grip is not been developed, teachers get very impatient and they yell and they have abuse. And that's where part of my daughter's trauma started during the early years. That's why I'm very, very passionate during the 0 to 6 years old is a very crucial period where the trauma, the scars that happens during the time. So if the environment is prepared in such a way that everything is very consistent. The teacher doesn't have to say, like Sean said, no, 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 and stop doing this, stop doing that, and actually disconnects the child's inner self. Inner child is being hurt during that period. So the structured environment is very, very crucial, and especially children with disabilities. People they assume that every child should learn the same way, every child should be writing, not preparing the brain for the development stages, the plane of development stages, using multisensory. So our environment is so structured that it's like everything is connected to each other, like the brain. The linking
from why also we have different environments for different phases of development.
Exactly.
And for each phase of development, we prepare the environment according to the psychological needs of the kids
of the
in this age group.
Yes, so that's why I think the 0 to 6 is, for me, it's very, very crucial. And if you want to make a difference in a child's life, that is the best stage in life. But the environment has to be structured, ordered, consistent, and aesthetically nature-based to especially children with learning disabilities or challenges. This environment suits them more than the traditional environment, which is always...
we will have to make a separate episode, especially for special needs kids in Montessori environment. I believe that's a valuable one, and your experience, Mala, is very rich in this region.
Personal experience. So, and also working with children with disability, really you can feel the pain of the parents not knowing where to send the children to, because most schools don't understand what the children are going through.
Because we've been into standardized education also. Like everyone should get the same
Yeah, that's
educational
the
system.
point. We can feel the value of Montessori because ourselves, we didn't go to Montessori school. We have been learning or we have learned already in Montessori in traditional schools with traditional education. With everybody has to follow same slots, same lesson, same activity at the same time, whatever his needs, whatever his moods, whatever his skills. So
Yeah.
now we can feel this value core that's been presented by Montessori. Yes, Salma, and all of us. That's interesting. None of us, great trainers, pioneers in Montessori, we have never went to Montessori schools when
Yeah.
we were young.
We have never went, but we are also educating ourselves through our contribution into Montessori. I mean, I think Sean or Mala would agree with me. Like 10 years ago, we are not the same people right now. I mean, we
Yes,
No.
change, and the kids change us too. And the
definitely.
more we get into Montessori, the more we understand how things work and how the kids really operate into the environment. And the more we really get deeper into Montessori to understand this philosophy and to try to really spread it more and more, because we don't want future generation to experience what we have experienced before. We would love to give them the ability to really be resilient, determined, to have a voice to say yes or no and to choose. This is one of the keystone in Montessori, ability to choose. It was not really given for us. I think in my generation, it was not easy to say, would you like to wear the blue one or the green one? No, it was not really that case.
Yeah,
So
true,
it's
true.
lovely to see now some parents applying it. And it's lovely to see that the philosophy is spreading more and more. And we could see that generation is really changing. And the word nowadays need Montessori more and more.
Yes, and this is part of our mission, spread awareness.
Yeah.
And what we are very, very grateful that lots of parents now are really seeking and keen on how to educate their kids in a better way, more than they have got educated themselves. So really, this is our main mission from such IMA voices now is to spread awareness for all parents and all education. So let's make it simple, ladies, and let's give a practical tip now for parents and for educators as well. If every one of you are going to give one tip to make the environment rich and nourishing, to develop the psychological skills for the children, whether they are her own children, her own kids, or her own students, for parents and educators. I need one tip, one practical tip from each of you to enrich the surrounding environments around these kids. Who
Well,
can start first?
order is really important to me, and consistency. So that is why, if you haven't received your Montessori training yet, when you engage in Montessori training, you will learn that your trainers are very, they emphasize very strongly the importance of order. All right, so the order is in sequence of ability level and challenge. So it's left to right, which is also indirect preparation of movement, top to bottom, from the easiest concept of addition, for example, to the most challenging. And this also allows for the multi-age grouping so that a child that's 6, a child that's 7, a child that's 8, go to the shelf and they choose the work that they're ready to do, and they know where to find it. And it's complete and it's ready, always put back where it belongs. At the end of the day, the children help take care of the room. And then you also, as adults, want to make sure that you're scanning and making sure that paper is stocked and pencils are
So
sharpened.
you mean by order is the organization of the place, of the environment, whether it's a classroom or a corner in the house, like to put tools available, close to the kids, achievable, and arrange it, right?
Order in the household, yes. So it should be, the child should be able to go to the living room and know that there's materials and things for him to do, and it shouldn't be thrown in a toy basket where you're not teaching them self-management and self-regulation, it should be on a beautiful shelf. And then interchanging those materials regularly as the child shows lack of interest. Same thing with the kitchen. They should be able to reach their own dishes and their own glasses. So finding a place where they can do that. Maybe some food prep in their bedroom, keep things orderly. And they don't have to have 15 outfits. They can have 4 or 5 that are washed. They can help fold the laundry and know where each thing goes. The simpler, the better, and less is more.
Yeah,
Yes.
limited choices. We give choices, but limited to make it easy for them. Yeah, great. Okay.
And another point, it could be also purposeful. If you are preparing a material, make sure like whatever you put in the environment has a clear
Meaning,
goal,
yeah.
a clear meaning. I'm not putting things just to beautify
For
the
the sake
environment.
of it, yeah.
I'm not putting it just to show like I have all the Montessori materials.
Materials,
I'm
yeah.
putting in the environment what the kids need for a specific purpose, whether it
And
could
for a
be
specific period. Now, currently, for example,
for
this 2 weeks, he needs a specific thing.
so
This semester, they need something, so I need to pick. But I don't start from, because really, for me myself, I love Montessori tools. When I already purchase most of the tools, I really want to put everything for the kids
yes,
to
yes.
enjoy.
This is a
But I
tendency
really have
for
to
those.
focus
Yes,
and follow their semester periods and follow their age
exactly.
skills and start to pick 2 by 3, 1 by 2, 1 by 2, and to choose. So this
Yes,
is really a very big challenge and a very big point, very important point, Salma. Really, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
Has to be
experienced it myself.
purposeful in a way, like yeah, whatever you put in the class, because the kids would love to explore and they would love to touch and to see. And it would be really hard to tell the kid, like, no, don't use it now until you are ready for it.
Yeah,
It's really frustrating for the
disappointing.
child
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Disappointing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
get you.
we love to explore. This is a tendency that of exploration. It's a human tendency. We are all born explorers. So whatever you equip your environment has to go with a purposeful meaning that would be aligned with the human tendencies. Like we are all born explorers, having a great imagination skill. So we nourish these skills. We are born to move, so we put things that would enable them to move and to explore in the environment. We are born to be artists as well, if only we get necessary tools to develop this artistic skill. So if I would give really any tip to anyone who is working, whether educator or parent, whatever you put in your home as a parent, make sure like your kid showed you a sign and he had the willingness to use it because there is a purpose behind it. I'm using, for example, the clay for my child because I've seen that whenever I work in the kitchen, he tries to get the flour and he plays with it this way. So I started introducing the use of the clay modeling, and he started
Yeah.
really working that, for
Mhm.
example. Or
Following his needs.
yes, to follow his needs and to follow, of course, their psychological development. So
Beautifully.
whatever
Yeah.
is there, it has a meaningful reason why is it there. I'm not putting
Mhm.
it just to decorate and to show it's a beautiful
Yeah.
environment. I'm putting it because the kids guided me to really put it there. And the choice of the material, as we could see in Montessori, is very large. So we are not really limited to that. We, as the more we understand the child's need, the more we come up also to make our own materials because they guide us. And sometimes the kids in 6 to 12, they could even help us to make materials. They could come up with some ideas, and these ideas would really generate into making materials that they already contributed into.
So
So,
actually, Salma, you have 2 tips now. First, to use a sample tools that you just need for the specific period, minimize choices. And second, try to do the tools by themselves in case the kids, whether children or students, need a specific thing. They don't have to directly go purchase. They can try to do it themselves, make it at home.
yes,
Yeah,
yes, because in this
great.
case, you are fulfilling their imagination and you are helping them also to work on their imagination. And also, you are guiding them to be a great contributor into the class you are in.
That's
Yeah.
good. Now we have one tip from Sean and two taps from
Yes.
Salma. I'm curious to know your tips. Mana, go ahead. We need a good tip for
I
parents.